Race fans, it's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome our Grand Marshals, President and CEO of Advocare, Richard Wright, and Distributor Relations for Advocare, Sherry Wright.
Gentlemen,
spark your engines!
Crank it when you're ready. I can't see you entering the road, but I can see the competition yellow. The camera will be good. Yes, actually, step forward. Actually, we're the 88 car.
That is a sound we've waited a little over a day and a half to hear. Day and a half late, we are going green in Atlanta. Side by side for the lead. It's Casey Kane in the 4, Clint Boyer in the 33.
And you know, Boyer wants to get a lap led here early so he can get that bonus point. He's going to do it on his first lap.
He's got it. There's Truex moving up the racetrack in the 56 car, racing with Matt Kenseth in the 17 for 5th.
Yeah, with the amount of grip this track has in it right now, that low line's probably going to be the best for at least the next 10 or 15 laps.
Even though we're having this caution on lap 30, you have to be extremely cautious with these tires because with that grip level you're talking about, Andy, you can still wear the tires out very quickly.
Yeah, just an example of how much grip there is. 29.56 that last lap for the leader.
11th and 20th in points that could possibly get a wild card with a win. Jeff Gordon, 24 car.
Yeah, man, everybody was talking about after the final practice on Saturday, this team been on a roll, getting themselves in position to become really maybe the favorite if you can put someone over 5-time champion Jimmy Johnson as the favorite heading into the chase.
So Gordon in the 24 has put himself up to the 6th position after the initial break.
I'll tell you, Jeff Gordon is really on the move.
Trouble. That's Bobby Labonte.
Through the grass.
And the caution is out. Jeff Gordon moved up to 3rd, Doc.
Absolutely. They said the car was a little snug at the beginning, but the car really came to him. Now, don't touch a thing. Going to be 4 tires. They cannot add fuel. They'll put tires on the outside and the inside. Not even a pound of air pressure change. Jeff said the car was that good. Dave.
Jeff Gordon gave up 3rd to Pitt. Let's hear them discuss it.
Yeah, I think it's a smart thing to do, you know. I mean, I'm sure they'll be fine. It's just that when the track's that green, I don't know, you have to see, but, you know, when you start running that high line that early, it wears them out. Yeah, no, they look good, but I was obviously concerned. It'll be good, man. You'll drive right through there.
That's exactly why I would have wanted to pit, just because of the unknown and that tire wear. Now they know. They've looked at the tires, and they feel pretty good about it. But this is not a bad move from this team at all. I mean, I would have done exactly the same thing.
Really, for a driver, that changing lanes around this racetrack is about trying to find the spot on the racetrack that your car's handling is best suited for at that moment.
That's exactly, at that moment, that's the key word right there, Alan, is at that moment. When you have fresh tires, the bottom of the racetrack is going to be your fastest way around. Then you might have to move to the middle or to the very top, but you're just looking for grip to make you go fast.
You see now the 24 car's moved into 3rd, and he's catching the leaders pretty quick.
Jeff Gordon right there with him. Jeff got himself all the way up to 3rd by this caution flag. Here they are. Doc?
45 miles an hour, second stop of the day for Jeff Gordon. So the car starts a little bit snug, left top of your screen there. They will come in and put 4 tires on. Jeff said, don't touch anything. No, the track really comes to us very quickly, and the car does very well on the bottom of the racetrack. They'll top it off with Sunoco fuel. Dave.
Black and yellow 18 of Kyle Busch was leading. They asked him if his car was good. He said, yes, leave it. 4 tires and fuel for Kyle Busch. The 33 of Clint Boyer as well. He will take 4 tires, no changes. Actually, a little air pressure change for Clint Boyer, a little bit tight.
Oh, a little close call there in the center of pit road. That was Denny Hamlin coming out of his stall, and David Starr still going to his. Starr had to drive back around. And that's why you get the plus 33 there. We go green, presented by American Ethanol.
See Denny Hamlin spin the tires a lot right there. Stacked everybody in that outside lane up.
It's like Keselowski's going to get a few of those spots.
Oh, that's dicey behind him. Up front, looking for the lead. Jeff Gordon took a peek on Kyle Busch, then slipped back in behind him. like he was going to make a little low bid there in 3.
Yeah, there's some people going to have to do some work on their cars to challenge these two drivers. I think they've set the standard here today that they're the two cars and teams to beat.
Kyle Busch, one of the drivers in the Sprint Summer Showdown. $3 million if he can win this race. $1 million for him, $1 million for the Kyle Busch Foundation, and $1 million for a fan who was selected, who picked Kyle to win the race at Michigan that he scored a few weeks ago. Yeah, that's a nice 3 there, $3 million, but the 3 bonus points these drivers could carry into the chase is more important to them at this point in time. Now, every now and then you see a little speck or two on a camera lens. There's some mist, not heavy at times, that has come and gone throughout the morning here.
Yeah, we heard Jeff Gordon say that. His car was just snug at the beginning of the run, and it has been just a little snug, but now it's starting to come around. He's getting ready to take the lead away from Kyle Busch.
Starting to search around for that line where he has the optimal grip and see if he can find a way around that 18 and grab the lead.
It seems like with this new car, the rear grip goes away before the front does, and that's why you will hear a guy say his car's snug, but that's good to start a run.
Jeff Gordon already has clinched a place in the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. Said he feels his team is getting momentum and getting stronger as the year goes on and thinks he's going to be a factor.
Yeah, I talked to his crew chief, Alan Gustafson. He's very confident. I mean, just in tone of his voice. Now we got a real race for the lead.
Yeah, I think he's going to be able to get it off of turn 2 here. Now you can see him get on that right rear quarter panel, slow Kyle down a little bit entering turn 1. He'll use that momentum to take the lead.
So Gordon powering by Kyle Busch and will become the 6th different driver to lead this race in the early going at Atlanta. Those top 2 have put a little bit of a gap between themselves and 3rd place Clint Boyer. Our Tuesday matinee still in its early stages. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series from Atlanta. Coverage presented by Pennzoil. There's the race for the lead. The Sprint Summer Showdown drivers today here in Atlanta. Let's go up to speed with Nationwide Insurance and check in on some of the front runners. Jeff Gordon out in front, Doc.
Thank you very much, Alan. There's the leader, Jeff Gordon, the 4-time Atlanta winner. You know, when I asked Alan Gustafson, his crew chief, to tell me about your driver, he said, you know what? Jeff Gordon is the X factor. He's like a Tom Brady with the New England Patriots. He said, if you surround him with a good team and just get him close, he will execute flawlessly and get you to victory lane. It's such incredible comfort knowing we have our own X factor in that 24 car. Dave.
Have gone to the garage and retired from the race that Jeff Gordon leads. Chevy brings you Drive It Like You Want It. Enter for a chance to win a new Chevy Silverado and a trip to the Texas Motor Speedway. And meet Team Chevy drivers Mark Martin and today's leader, Jeff Gordon. Visit driveitlikeYouWantIt.com now. About to hit the 100-mile mark of today's 500-mile NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race. Live at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, Jeff Gordon out in front, one of 6 different drivers that have led the race so far. Jeff driving for Hendrick Motorsports, by far the best faring of the drivers from that powerhouse team.
Yeah, they must not have shared their information with the other guys because they're really struggling. I've been watching Jimmy Johnson a lot, and it looked like after that restart he was kind of making his way forward, but really sliding back now.
Stewart 5th, Hamlin in 4th, behind Kyle Busch, the runner-up, and Jeff Gordon out in front of this race, just past 100 miles. Green flag pit stops on the way. Jeff Gordon leading at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, a Tuesday race, just the second one on a Tuesday since 1978. Green flag pit stops have begun, Vince.
And the 2 of Brad Keselowski going to make a 4-tire change. Keselowski been asking what other drivers are doing as far as the line is concerned, trying to find a good, comfortable balance for him in the 2 car.
And now that the first of the lead lap cars has made a move to pit road, here they all come, Jamie.
And Jamie McMurray down and away. They were a little bit loose. He just wanted an air pressure adjustment, 4 tires. You see A.J. Allmendinger in the 43 in his box, down and away.
Others coming and going from pit road. Casey Kane is leaving. Clint Boyer's been in. Montoya, Truex, Vickers, Mark Martin, Jeff Burton, and Kyle Busch is in, Dave.
He says a little more rear grip would be needed in the 18 right now, so that'll be a track bar adjustment for him. 4 fresh tires, full of Sunoco fuel for Kyle, who did lead earlier today. Right now gives up 3rd position on the track to make this pit stop.
And the leader, Jeff Gordon, hits pit road. This will be at the end of his 78th lap. And the Hendrick team goes to work, Doc.
They asked Jeff Gordon, how's the car? He said 3 words, really good everywhere. That sums it up, guys. Minimal adjustment, a little bit of air pressure, a little bit of track bar. Miss.
At one point, it looked like we were under caution flags. Many cars just came down pit road at one time.
Well, you just cannot afford to give up that kind of speed. Once those cars, those lead lap cars, start making those pit stops, everybody has to come.
Yes, 2.5, 3 seconds here per lap.
Jeff Gordon had a 3-second lead over Denny Hamlin when they went to pit road. We'll see how much that backing up on pit road cost Hamlin on his stop as the scoring cycles out. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series on a Tuesday from the Atlanta Motor Speedway. Our coverage presented by Pennzoil. We're just past the 1/4 mark of the race, and Jeff Gordon in that 24 is the race leader, an event postponed from Sunday night as the remnants of Tropical Storm Lee kind of played havoc with the Atlanta area for the last day and a half or so. Gap from the leader, Jeff Gordon, to the 2nd place car, Kyle Busch, is that much. It's 2.5 seconds. So another interesting thing to look at when we look at race leader Jeff Gordon. Talk about Hendrick Motorsports and Gordon running well and some of the other Hendrick cars not faring as well earlier in the race, is that Jeff's about to put a couple of his teammates a lap down.
He's going to get it done on Junior here after a few laps, but Jimmy Johnson's the next one up ahead, and he's actually the fastest car on the track right now looking at the lap times.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson, who's just ahead, as we see now Gordon going around Dale Jr. to put him a lap down. But Jimmy Johnson was behind the 88 of Dale Jr. when they came out after the pit stops. As you can see, he's moved up ahead. As Andy said, been the fastest car on the track the last few laps.
So Dale Jr. in 28th place and goes a lap down. There's Jimmy Johnson trying to put some distance between himself and the leader, Gordon.
Yeah, when they came out, Jeff Gordon was only about 5 car lengths behind Jimmy Johnson at that time. So Jimmy, the adjustments they made, we saw him making a track bar adjustment on Jimmy Johnson, and during that stop must have been exactly what that car needed.
Doc?
29 car, left top of your screen, Kevin Harvey said the car would not turn in the middle of the corner. The previous stop, they put the air pressure back in. He said, now the car is great. Do not touch it. 4 tires and fuel only. Left lower side, Jeff Gordon said the car really getting free now. Can't get on the bottom of the racetrack. Going to put a half around a wedge back in the left rear. Dave.
Right, Kyle Busch needed to get the front end turning a little bit better. Air pressure change, 4 tires, wedge back in. Vince.
Of Denny Hamlin, he says it's pretty good, but a little free and center. They made a track bar adjustment, 4 tires for Denny Hamlin.
And again, people in the grass. He's done a lot of leading this season, but so far today, Jeff Gordon has done most of the leading. For more NASCAR stats, go to sprint.com/speed. Kyle and Jeff going to be lined up alongside each other for this restart.
Yeah, Jeff chose the outside, which surprises me a little bit. We'll see how this works off. I'm not sure, like you said, I'm not sure you can hold Kyle Busch off either way, but we'll see.
Kyle Busch is so fast on these restarts.
Remember, spinning the tires, losing grip, been a problem for some of these drivers today up front on restarts. If I hadn't said it, somebody would have done it. I said it, nobody did it.
Well, Kyle Busch did just a little bit, but man, he's so good with that throttle that he's got it back under control.
Yeah, but Gordon getting a big run up off the outside.
Guess that's what he had in mind when he chose that high lane.
Bobby Labonte has been released from the medical center. We'll talk to Bobby in a minute. First, side by side for the lead, Gordon, Kyle Busch, and Matt Kenseth up on the pit stops in hot pursuit in that 17 car.
Wow. That's about a dead heat right there. But Kyle Busch did lead the lap back to the line. See Jeff Gordon getting a good run off of turn 2 here, though. Back in front.
Kind of shutting off that lane for Kyle to come back on.
Tight in the center, making it so loose off, so loose on injury. And the grip level went away like a light switch went off about 7 laps. So the guys worked real hard. We tried to do all we could do. You know, Busch's Makes Mean Toyota was wasn't what we wanted it to be, but obviously ended our day quickly today. But excited about next weekend at Richmond. You know, I feel like we got a better program there than we do here. And we were just trying some stuff today that didn't work out for us like we wanted to.
Well, it is chilly out here, and Bobby Labonte's fire suit is soaked from sweat. These drivers are working hard, Alan.
Tough day for the former champion. Bobby Labonte out of it in Atlanta. Speaking of former champions, Matt Kenseth into the hunt now after some good pit work by that 17 team. He's up to third. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series at Atlanta in the Advocare 500. Make sure to go to NASCAR.com for all your latest NASCAR information. Jeff Gordon is the race leader. After 115 laps, Gordon out in front of Kyle Busch by a second and a half. Gordon has led the most laps today. Speaking of passing. Yeah, that's right. So a look at the top five. Jeff Gordon out in front of Kyle Busch. Those two have been the top two in the race for a good stretch here this last little while. Jeff Gordon strong last week, again this week. How important really is momentum when you're looking at a 10-race stretch to the title?
This is one of those tracks that's kind of hard on engines.
Jeff Gordon, a four-time winner at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, led the most laps at Bristol last week, but he finished third. He's led the most laps so far today, but we've got a long way to go in this one.
But here they come.
Matt Kenseth will hit quickly, Doc.
Yeah, Matt's loving the car. They went back on the air pressure a little bit ago. He said 4 tires, fuel, no changes. Don't even touch the grill. Don't clean anything, leave it alone. That's left top, left bottom of your screen. Pushing a rubber in the left rear for Jeff Gordon. He said, guys, it's got to be tighter. I can't run down low. That's why he chose the outside on the restart. Nate.
Kyle Busch said Matt Kenseth passed him because he could run a better U-shape. Kyle's car too loose in and off. 4 tires, track bar, air. Vince.
Denny Hamlin a little snug. They're going to free it up with some wedge out, 4 tires, and a little air pressure adjustment.
And that time taken to push that spring rubber in as called on the Jeff Gordon pit stop is going to cost him.
Cost him 3 spots coming off pit road.
Kyle Busch has got to slow up. Let Matt Kenseth catch back up to him.
Yeah, and there goes Harvick around. Man, he saved it somehow.
I don't know how he did
I don't either. I don't understand how he saved that car.
You'd have to think there may be a penalty forthcoming for Kyle Busch here.
And that's pretty pronounced right there, how far ahead he was. He did give it back.
He gave it back, yeah.
That might have saved him right there.
The leader is Matt Kenseth. He's supposed to be the guy that gets to the finish line on the restart.
The way that works, though, if you give it back, you know, in a reasonable amount of time, which going through 1 and 2 would be a reasonable amount of time,
yeah,
they won't penalize you.
So whether Matt spun the tires or something, it put the onus on Kyle to wait, and that stacked up the traffic behind. And they're lucky they didn't have that big wreck when you saw Harvick getting knocked around and everybody jamming up. And up front, here comes Jeff Gordon.
Well, we wondered about making a change to that 24 car, but it looked like it might be the right thing. Looked like he started maybe a little bit tight on this restart, which is what Jeff was wanting for his car. It's really coming on now as he takes the lead back away from Kenseth.
I was a little skeptical about making a change on a car that was that good and something that takes that long to change. I mean, it really does cost you spots to put a spring rubber in, and they decided to do that. Looks like it is paying off, though.
If you just joined us, Jeff Gordon was leading most of this race on the last pit stop a little bit ago. His team took the time to place a spring rubber in the left rear of the car, went from first to fourth on the restart. He just charged back up in 10 laps to take over the top spot. We are closing on the midway point of today's race in Atlanta. It is Jeff Gordon out in front, seeking his 3rd win of the season. The Tuesday matinee at the Atlanta Motor Speedway for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series has been pretty action-packed. The 6-time Atlanta winners had a couple of issues. Jeff Gordon's done a lot of dominating. Guys have been wrestling their cars, swapping positions back and forth. Bobby Labonte, that 6-time winner, out of the race after that crash. And it is Jeff Gordon who has done most of the leading today as we welcome you back to our coverage of the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series today, presented by Pennzoil. 9 laps shy of the halfway mark of this race. Jeff Gordon's led 89 of the 153 that have been run so far. Took him just 10 laps after a recent pit stop to charge his way back to the front after falling to fourth, having a spring rubber put into his Chevrolet. There's Matt Kenseth in second, a little ways back right there to the new third-place driver.
Solid day. Back to fourth now after Denny Hamlin. After all of that settled down, Hamlin went back into third.
And now he's trying to catch up to his teammate, Jeff Gordon, who's the leader. The halfway lap of the race, when you know you're going home that day. We've passed it here in Atlanta. The NASCAR Sprint Cup Series coverage today presented by Pennzoil. New leader in the race, Matt Kenseth by Jeff Gordon. A minute ago, Gordon had a big bobble. Show you that right now. Watch that 24 car in reference to those seam lines on the track.
That's a lot of working right there. Working the wheel, trying to stay in the throttle a little bit, trying not to wreck is basically what he was doing.
Trying to keep the lead, but he couldn't do that.
And now that Matt Kenseth has gone to the front, Gordon has slipped back where Denny Hamlin has gotten by him. Carl Edwards has gone by him as well. About set for green flag pit stop. So over the course of a run on tires, look at some of the speeds and how much they fall off.
Now you can see they just fall off so much. Matter of fact, now this 24, he really needs to hit pit road.
You know, and sometimes you get these cars. He wanted his car tighter. They put a spring rubber in the left rear. It looked like they really did a good job of doing that. But you run it so hard, you run the right front tire off of it.
Jeff Gordon put the rubber in the left rear, which tightened the car up, and the car began to step out. It got worse and worse and worse. Now around the track car right rear, four tires. The car suddenly just got loose, and Jeff slowed down dramatically. Dave.
Doc?
Standing with Alan Gustafson on top of the Jeff Gordon Hall. And Alan, every time you guys have made an adjustment to tighten him up with the wedge and the rubber in the left rear, he has taken off in the short run. But in the long run, it's been a bit of a challenge. Why?
Well, it's just it's a trade-off here in Atlanta. The driving the Conqueror Chevy is really good. We just got to balance it out. We'll have to see. If the race comes down to a long run, we'll have to manage our tires a little bit better. But if it comes down to a short run, we'll be right where we want to be. Worried about a track change with the rain here coming in? It seems like it's constantly been changing all day anyway, so it'll be interesting to see which way it goes. But we'll just be ready for it. Everybody's got to run on the same track, so it's just part of it. Okay, thank you, Alan. Let's check in with Vince.
And Carl Edwards brings him up to speed again. Martin Truex diving low, 3 wide into 1.
Oh, no spin in the tires of that 56 car. He was in the gas.
He passed 3 cars or more.
Kenseth to the lead, Edwards to second, side by side for third, Gordon 24 and Harvick 29. Harvick with the great run off that outside.
Yeah, a little surprising because we've seen Jeff Gordon be really fast at the start of these. Harvick seems like his car takes a little time to come in. Got it on go right now.
Doc just talking to Gordon's crew chief, Alan Gustafson, about that short run, long run.
And that may be exactly something Jeff Gordon, after that last run where his car really fell off, he may take care of the tires a little bit more here at the start of this.
That was Dale Jr. back in 22nd place. Here's the race for third. Jeff Gordon trying to rally back.
Yeah, I think this is just a veteran Jeff Gordon realizing that he's been running the car a little hard at the start of restarts, using up a little too much tire, which is very easy to do.
That's one thing that's kind of hard for a crew chief. Hear you guys say that. You're the only ones that really know how hard you're running. When you're the crew chief, you're up on that box, you're watching these things, and you kind of wonder, is this one of those runs where he's taking care of it, or are we just not as good in the beginning of this run?
Do you ask him?
Yeah, sometimes you would. I mean, if you're looking at this and you're concerned, you say, hey, how do we stack up right now versus the run before?
Gordon has led 100 of the 190 laps today. By far the dominant driver in this race. Caution out, the mist heavy again here at Atlanta. Pit road is open, Doc.
Matt Kenseth is in. The car is tight off, tight in, and tight in the middle. The track had been getting loose, but now they're going to make air pressure adjustments there. Now, the 24 car, left lower part of your screen, Jeff Gordon, that the car is really loose on exit. Got to be very careful on the throttle track bar adjustment. Dave.
6th position, he said, give me a little bit to help the loose condition, but don't go crazy. Track bar and air pressure, Jamie.
Carl Edwards, bottom right-hand side. All he wants to know is how long is it going to rain? Car is good. 4 tires race off pit road side by side. Matt Kenseth looks like he got it. Alan.
He did, Jamie. And watch for Jeff Gordon.
Not good there.
-5.
From the track bar down.
Seems like it's kind of been the adjustment of the day on a lot of these cars. For more on the track bars, let's head to our Craftsman Tech Garage and champion crew chief Tim Brewer. Tim?
Well, early in this race, I wouldn't have given you 2 cents that Jimmy Johnson could be running second at any point in time.
Looks like he's not finished with second.
Jeff Gordon in that 24 getting shuffled back some on this restart. Keselowski's up to 4th. 24 back there racing with David Reagan for 8th.
Yeah, Jeff's got caught on down the inside. Not really where he wanted to be here, and it's like traffic in front of him has hampered his progress and going forward to see Reagan taking that spot away.
Better keep an eye out behind him. It's the guy we just talked about getting shuffled back on that restart.
On that Gordon?
Yeah, starting to make up some ground in a hurry. Jeff back up to 5th.
Yeah, some of that just experience once again. Jeff Gordon with this car, knowing he has a good race car, but not pressing the issue at that point in time, trying to do something that really would cost him in the long run.
Got Kevin Harvick behind him, Brad Keselowski just in front of him. Gordon having led 100 laps on the day, way more than any other driver.
Yeah, really see Jeff searching around a little bit more than what we've seen in other parts of the race, but he's making that high line work up in 3 and 4, really getting a nice run down the front straightaway.
Pretty good fight for the lead. Jimmy Johnson again with that big run off turn 4. Jeffrey.
Yeah, that kind of confirms what we were seeing.
Based on what you've seen, Jeff Gordon being in that outside lane for this restart, much better for him than when he got caught in the inside lane last time and it didn't go.
I like Jeff's chances, especially because he's on that outside. That's where he found something that last run. So I think he'll be good when this thing goes green.
Before the restart, Jamie's caught up with Clint Boyer. 3 wide, Jimmy Johnson to the bottom. And to the lead.
New leader, 48.
Earl Marvin, the spotter from up on the roof.
Let's see if he can hold off this 99 to get back here, and I think that he can. Really done a lot of work to this 48, and it's paid off.
And we thought Jeff Gordon in that 24 car lined up in that outside lane would be able to go.
Just did not get going on the start. It looks like he's going okay now.
Yeah, I think it's just, once again, one of those situations. Jeff's car, they've tightened it up some. It's just a little too tight to go turn these fast sides. We take problem. Dave, is that David Reagan?
It's 0.
Dave?
Ellen, he knew when he was going into turn 3. He shouted, "It's blowing up, it's blowing up, it's blowing up." And sure enough, he takes it to a coast on pit road.
Regan Smith. We go racing with 71 to go. That's Truex looking low.
I've seen him do it before.
Yeah, it looks like
it stick.
Yeah, and Carl might have got it right this time. See if he can hang on the bottom. Jimmy
Whoa.
gets a good run, though.
Jeff Gordon with a big handful in 1 and 2. Cost him some spots. There's Kurt Busch. Haven't called his number in a while. Yellow and red 22 car.
He certainly knows how to get the job done here, though.
Winner of 2 of the last 4 here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. He and Gordon fighting for 5th and 6th right now. Keselowski behind them in the 2, being challenged by Denny Hamlin.
Gordon able to clear Kurt Busch there off of turn 2 there. Once again, takes a lap or 2 for Gordon's car to come in a little bit. Then he starts marching forward.
His big weakness is that first lap and a half after a restart. He can't hardly go.
Here's Gordon by Truex. That'll be for 4th place.
Big run off turn 2. Paid off getting into 3 for Gordon.
Well, when he does get it going, it goes in a hurry, doesn't it? Man.
He almost just needs this thing to stay green so he has a chance to run up to the front.
Yeah, that would be Jeff Gordon's best thing probably for this thing to go green.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. Here goes Gordon now. He's got it wound up.
Going by Matt Kenseth for 3rd.
This looks like the 24 car we saw in the first half of the race.
He's got about 2 seconds to make up to catch his teammate Jimmy Johnson and Carl Edwards in between them.
Yeah, you know that healthy competition I was talking about? That's pushing Gordon right now. He sees that 48 on that scoreboard. He's going to be chasing him hard.
Yeah, and that's about how far earlier in the race Jeff Gordon was leading, was behind Jimmy Johnson to put him a lap down. Now he's trying to chase him down for the lead.
Fastest lap on the track last circuit? Yes, the 24 car. He does have it wound up. A lot of repairs to do there, it looks like, Dave, and not a lot of laps left in the race. Hornet's Nest on the right, change for second on the left.
Jeff Gordon has this thing up on the high side, both ends of the racetrack right now, really making a lot of time. Once again, the last lap, fastest on the track.
And giving Carl Edwards the wave of thanks. I don't think Carl resisted all that heavily. He saw the inevitable coming.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Yeah, you see that coming from behind. There's no reason to try to fight it off.
I'm watching Jeff Gordon gain on Jimmy Johnson, and he is about a lane higher than what Jimmy Johnson is running too. So we've seen Gordon lead a lot of the laps today that he's led down on the bottom side, but this racetrack has changed, and they found where it's fast, where there's a little more grip.
Now we see Jimmy Johnson. He's probably looking in that mirror thinking, how is he catching me? I'll try that groove.
Yeah, he didn't win 5 championships by just looking out the front.
And for the lead, Jeff Gordon has erased that gap to Jimmy Johnson, and he's starting to work him over.
Yeah, and as Jimmy Johnson moved up to block Jeff Gordon up at the top, Jeff's gone to the bottom of the racetrack now. Well, it's fun when you've got a car that you can take wherever you want to on the racetrack and make it go.
Yeah, it's just a little too loose right there, Jeff is, to make that pass on the bottom. Might be trying to bait Jimmy to go down there, maybe pass him on the outside. You think he'll go for it?
No.
9 championships between them. And racing for the win here with 52 laps to go. Now, that's still a long way to go in this race. Lead on the left, 4th place on the right.
Comes that 2 car. It's getting time to win, and he's shown that over these last 5 weeks, he likes that spot.
Yeah, don't count him out.
Big money.
Oh, yeah.
Sprint Summer Showdown, $3 million player is Brad Keselowski. I know it's cliche, but catching him's one thing.
That's right. See, both of them sliding these cars
power
off turn 2.
Passing him's another. Jeff Gordon is 5th in the championship, locked into the chase, but wants another win for bonus points for that seeding. Trying to get the lead from Johnson. Just hasn't quite gotten to stick it down low and hold it. Make it stick.
And Jimmy Johnson like those bonus points also. He only has that 1 victory, so those 3 points would be big as we get ready for the chase.
Now, this is the best position we've seen Jeff in down the back straightaway. He'll probably get him this lap.
The thing I'm impressed at, it looks like that they've made this 24 car better on the longer run too, which was something that even though they were leading early on, they would fall off in the later parts of a run. But it looks like they've made some nice adjustments there, Doc.
Indeed they have, DJ, and now Jeff Gordon has driven down and taken a lead from teammate Jimmy Johnson, but now that he has the lead, he has something else to worry about. Listen in.
I think this pace hurt the tires. I got a little vibration. 7-4. Let me know if it gets worse. We can come anytime.
They are keeping an eye on it. The spotters are watching, and certainly Alan Gustafson is watching as well. They've told Jeff if it gets any worse at all, come on down pit road. We're not taking any chances. Right now, Jeff has not said another word on the radio. He's just pulling away and leaving the 48.
Been on these tires about 30 laps. Not all of them green flag, though. There was a caution in there in between.
He talks about this pace has kind of hurt the tire. He's not slowing down. He's the fastest on the track, so he's not worried about it too much.
I think what he's referring to is back early in the race, he would run pretty hard to get a big lead, and then he'd have to give it up because the tires would be gone. And I think maybe he's trying to give him a heads up that he feels that maybe he was pushing a little bit hard right there.
So Stewart running in 8th spot. Jeff Gordon in the lead. His radio a moment ago.
I'm just getting word. Tempo button. Let me know when it's too much so we can fit. We're in our window. Just going to make our last run longer.
Yeah, he's just feeling something he doesn't like, and they're inside this pit window. They could make this stop and not have to come again.
Well, how about slowing down just for a little bit? I mean,
fastest car last lap.
Yeah.
Makes me wonder if he doesn't have a wheel that might be getting loose more than anything.
Yeah.
That still can't be a comfortable feeling at this race.
No, and you don't want to let it get too far out of hand because it can mess up the wheel studs.
I think we're going to need to go in another lap. That's what we're ready for you.
I would bet he probably has a loose wheel.
And once he comes in as the leader, it's going to drag everybody else in. They don't know exactly what that is, but I think that we're going to see that mass exit to pit road here shortly.
Looks like he's going to make one more.
Somebody's going to...
We're ready for you. We're real good right now, actually, just a little free.
Somebody's going to stay out there and try and see if they can catch a caution and trap a bunch of guys a lap down. But there's a risk to both sides of that strategy.
There is. If you stay out there and try to do that, you're going to lose so much time if that caution does
We're
not come
about
out.
15 from pitting to. I'd like to pit in about 10. But if it's too bad, we can go.
That's got to be the most miserable feeling as a driver. Feeling something in the car, but not wanting to be the one to make that call.
Especially when you're leading.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing. And again, at a high-speed racetrack, because you know that it only takes a split second for this lead, everything you've worked for all day, to go away. So, you don't want to wait too long, but you also don't want to jeopardize yourself by coming in too early either. So, tough call. But yeah, I like my chances with a four-time champion like Jeff Gordon.
Not pitting again. Sounds like he's going to try and get those 10 laps that the crew chief was looking for.
It's like Jimmy's making a pit stop, though. Beat him to pit road.
How about that, Doc?
Absolutely. Coming in, going to get fresh tires and get it full of fuel that they're in their window now. About 4 laps inside the window. They'd be close on a green-white checker as he gets his pit stop done. You're watching the leader, Jeff Gordon, right side of your screen. Also in, Kevin Harvick getting 4 tires. Air pressure difference for Harvick, who's been very, very tight. Jimmy Johnson goes by. The 17 car, we told you, he was very, very tight. He is on pit road. Matt Kenseth, one of the early leaders at the very end of pit road. And here comes Jeff Gordon down at 45 miles an hour. Final stop of the day. The vibration had gotten so bad, he said, we're going to have to go ahead and come in now. 4 tires. They will look at all 4 tires as they come off the car, get it completely full of fuel. Got to be very deliberate with the fuel band now. Got to get all of it in. Let's go down the day.
Kurt Busch with that strong link.
We're going to see the fight for the lead look like this. Jeff Gordon just barely blending up off the pit lane in front of Jimmy Johnson. Johnson with that lap on fresher tires, closing the gap Gordon had gotten away from him by. That's a pass-through penalty for Kyle Busch. He had a commitment line violation coming to pit road for his green flag stop.
Yeah, it's just a bad day gone worse.
Yeah. And I wondered about, I saw Jeff come out in front here, but you were wondering with the struggles that he's had on restarts. But this is a totally different situation right here. So Jeff's car looks like it's up to speed, and if you didn't get mine there, I wouldn't like my chances.
Yeah, but what is it about that? Restart, car won't go for a couple laps. You make a green flag stop, and it seems to get going okay. I don't get that.
I don't know, but it's working okay.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
And it's just a feel here. You see the air pressure being able to build up quickly here, and they just seem like they've got everything dialed in for Jeff Gordon's car right now.
I guess one of the big things is you don't have all the traffic to deal with either. Yeah. You don't have the dirty air, all those kinds of things that Jeff was dealing with on the restart. He just has a great car today.
Sorry, Andy, watching what is the race for second at the moment will be for the lead when Mike Skinner stops and completes the cycle of pit stops momentarily. Remember, Skinner in the 36 car for Tom Baldwin Racing today. Dave Blaney suffering from some kidney stones. Did a start and park in Skinner's ride, the 60. And so Skinner filling in this 36 today. Whoa, Jeff Gordon on the right, almost tangling with a lap car of David Starr.
We've seen David Starr actually be involved with Jeff Gordon now with a close call, and also Jimmy Johnson earlier in the race.
That was close.
Yeah, and it makes it difficult as a driver having someone out here that you don't race all the time with, not knowing exactly, what their tendencies are and what to expect from them. And Jeff Gordon did a nice job of making the best of what could have been a bad situation there.
Trying to figure out if Alan Gustafson is watching weather or just watching his race car or what there. We saw a couple of those mist covering on the lens of the camera that was looking at Gustafson. Now, what got me so excited a minute ago, if you missed it, watch Jeff Gordon here.
Wow, just enough room to get by.
Yeah, David Starr wasn't doing anything right. He went in, he had a car below him on the entry to turn 1, and his car, tires were worn. He was ready to hit pit road, but Jeff Gordon did a nice job.
So after cycling out, Jeff Gordon has a half a second lead on Jimmy Johnson, and they've put 3 seconds on Kurt Busch, who is the 3rd place car. And that far behind. Missed, rain shower, rubber down, rubber picked up, rubber blown off by the track dryers. Go back racing again, long green flag run, couple of short stints between cautions. It's been a day.
This would be a big, big win for Jeff Gordon, a milestone win. It'd be his 85th career victory, top 10. But these are, you can go away from these and say, okay, we can get a better in this area or that area. But when you're just out to lunch, man, you can't really build on that.
Jeff Gordon starting to put a little gap on Jimmy Johnson. Opened it up to almost 2 seconds now.
I see that back end stepping out a little bit, though, on that 24 every now and then.
Could be a big win for this 24, Doc.
No doubt about it, Alan. You know, I asked Alan Gustafson this morning, I said, how would you describe your driver, Jeff Gordon, mentally coming into the day with a chase 2 races away? Without hesitation, Alan said, you know what, Doc? You can hear his confidence on the radio. You can see his aggressiveness on the racetrack. He said, I wouldn't have said this a couple of years ago, but as of right now, he said, I will take Jeff Gordon over anybody in the garage area for that championship this year. He is hungry, and he wants it, as evidenced by his aggressive approach here today.
Yeah, I talked to Alan Gustafson too, and you can just feel the confidence coming from him and that whole team, that they really do feel good about their chances.
Little lap traffic for Gordon to deal with now.
95, he's giving him a lot more room this time. David Starr doing a nice job, Doug. Notice that's the leader. Getting down out of the way.
And there's the gap back to Jimmy Johnson.
The gap has actually closed up a little bit here.
Yeah, I saw that back end step out on that 24 a little bit.
All of a sudden, late in the race, Rickers is chewing his way back into the top 10. 48's closed right up on the 24 all of a sudden, Doc.
And Al, remember about halfway when Jeff Gordon was in a long run and the car just abruptly got loose and he slowed significantly. That's what happened 2 laps ago. Jeff said, uh-oh, the car is getting loose, very, very loose, and now he's in jeopardy of losing the lead.
That happened about 10 laps ago or so. I saw that thing step out, and I was like, no, I don't like the way that looks.
Yeah, you sure pointed that out, and if I've watched him a little bit more, you could see that happening. You can see right there the back end kid, even though he was able to hold Jimmy Johnson off right now.
All he can do here is try to take away Jimmy's line that he wants to run and try to keep him in dirty air. 10 laps, that's a long time to do that, isn't it?
Oh, gosh, it seems like forever as you're trying to fight a loose race car in particular at this track.
So after dominating a lot of the afternoon, falling back, coming back to the front, having a vibration, getting to a pit window without that becoming a problem, getting out with the lead, pulling away from Jimmy Johnson. Now Gordon slides back into the clutches of his teammate, and they're inside the final 10 laps and racing for the win.
We just have to see if any of this lap traffic that Jeff's going to encounter is going to kind of take away his lane and where he wants to run and how that affects him.
One thing that might help him is a little dirty air on the nose wouldn't hurt a loose race car. So having some traffic might not hurt Jeff Gordon.
You can see the 48 right behind there coming off of turn 4 that last time. His car's a little bit on the free side also, back end kicking out.
Searching for a lane. Where can I find enough grip to hold him off? Where can I find enough grip to get by him?
Yeah, Jeff's just hoping right here that Marcus Ambrose gives him where he wants to be able to go. See Ambrose move up, giving Gordon the bottom, but Gordon's got really wiggling right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
look
man,
at that.
it's still out of shape.
Just
look
hanging on.
Look at Ambrose.
And here comes Johnson
with a run.
Yeah, he might try to go all the way to the bottom. See if he tries to go to the bottom and take that from Jeff. Not able to hold it down there. Just probably too loose, and the tires have too much time on them to make that move. Gordon's still fighting his car there.
And we're talking a lot about Jeff, but Jimmy's got to be doing a lot of fighting of his own inside that car.
Yeah, and as much as he's having to fight right now, it's a lot less than what he did the first of the race when he about wrecked every other lap.
Got a good run there off turn 4. That's Ben Johnson's strong spot, it seems like today.
6 laps to go.
And to the bottom. Can he make it stick?
Yeah, we've seen Jimmy in this position number. Now look how sideways right there. Wow, stays in the throttle.
Driving by both of these guys.
That's why there's 9 championships between these two. Able to take loose race cars, worn out tires right now, battling for the win here.
Two of the sport's best and the Atlanta track at its best, using every inch of this wide racetrack to try and find the grip they need to get to the front.
And there's some traffic ahead of this group. There's quite a few cars ahead. Looks like they'll catch them, too.
5 laps to go.
Whoa, Gordon really sideways right there.
And Jimmy fighting right up to his back bumper.
You can see Jimmy just walk the car all the way up the track.
Did we talk earlier about another fantastic finish here at Atlanta?
Yes, sir. Got to run.
Oh, yeah, he got him loose right there.
Coming corner, door outside, right next to you, outside, 24 only.
4 to go. Gordon drives it in to stay side by side.
Jimmy's getting a little loose.
Both of them wiggling up off the corner. Wow.
Clear, you're clear. Let's just see off this front of him.
That's good stuff.
They're coming to 3 to go. I'm telling you, this is a dogfight.
Yeah, Johnson's going to try to get a run on the high side. Just might get his pass that he's looking for here.
That's not what Gordon needs.
No,
Can't
not
make
this
it work.
time. 3 laps to go. Regan Smith gives way the lap car. Johnson dives again for the low side.
Oh, both of them just using all the track.
What's the wiggle going to be that costs Gordon the win or Johnson the chance to make a run at him? Lost some time there.
Yeah, Jimmy said, I got to try something.
Yeah, that's where he'd made up a lot of his time.
2 to go.
Looks like they may not catch this traffic before the end of the race.
But it's probably still affecting their cars. They're close enough. Johnson gets a big run off of 2 now.
Coming to the white flag. So far, Gordon's been able to hold him off. Can he do it for another lap and a quarter? Johnson's gotten a big run off turn 4 several times on Gordon, but not been able to finish the pass. He slides this time.
Gordon gets the big run.
By 3, white flag.
Last lap. Gordon gaining some ground. Can he hang on?
Oh, Jimmy Johnson sideways as he went to the gas hard.
Look at him.
Sliding off the corner. Half a lap to go. There is lap traffic ahead. We've had fantastic finishes in Atlanta. Will this be another side-by-side run to the checkers? It's going to be a sideways run to the checkers. Johnson tries to get there, can't get it done. Career win number 85. Jeff Gordon, 3rd on NASCAR's all-time win list.
Wow. That's some driving right there.
What a finish.
Yeah, and all this going on, we couldn't go back.
Yeah. Woo! That's what I'm talking about, boys.
Tony Stewart came up and passed all of those cars from running 8th all the way to 3rd.
But you couldn't leave that.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, that was something. 2 of the sport's best, putting on a driving show.
That was just incredible.
Awesome job, Jeff. You did amazing, dude. And all you guys in the pits, Alan, I'm so proud of you, man. I'm sorry I almost gave that thing away, but woo, that feels good.
That doesn't get any better than that right there. That's some talent.
Sliding around, hanging on, but not giving up. And Jeff Gordon and his crew chief Alan Gustafson and their whole team, Doc, with their 3rd win this season.
What an impressive performance, Alan. Great job by you guys out here on Adjustments All Day. But tell me your impressions of what your driver did those final 10 laps holding off Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, our car was really fast to start, and we knew that. And it was really good at the end after the rain. It kind of helped our car out. So Jeff got going there, and we just knew we had to pit a little quicker than we wanted to. Those guys pitted under green a little quicker than we wanted to. So that last run, we had to go a ways on tires. But that's Jeff. Jimmy's car was probably a little better at the end, and Jeff got him. That's Jeff Gordon right there.
That says it all, guys. That is Jeff Gordon right there. On a bad day, he's better than most. On a good day, he's the best of the best.
5th win at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, 1st since 2003. Terrific fight between 2 of the sport's best.
Started off the race really bad, and they made some great adjustments on pit road, and the car came to life. We got ourselves up there in the mix, and had a little bit more speed on Jeff there over the long haul. but I just couldn't get my Impala past his. So one of those deals. Very happy for Hendrick Motorsports. Thankful that the fans stuck around some.
Jimmy, it's not too often we see two drivers battling as hard as you guys were for so many laps. What is it like when you're following him? What was going through your mind as he's jumping around trying to block where you're going to run?
Well, we were kind of a little bit earlier the run before we were racing each other, and he ran me down, and I got a good feel for where he was fast, and I felt like I may have driven the tires off the car trying to get a big lead on that last run. So when Jeff took off there, I just took my time and hoped that he would run the tires off of his car and I could catch him, and it kind of worked out, but I couldn't get by him in the end. So
last laps, and Jeff Gordon out there waiting for the victory lane stage to be set up. No, you don't get the Sprint Summer Showdown money, Jeff.
He's trying his best, though, to talk
He's trying to talk him. Yeah, he's trying to talk him into it.
Yeah. But tremendous performance today for this team. Gordon ends up leading the most laps again, slipped back a little bit, had a vibration, second to last run of the race, hung on until the last pit stop, and the big celebration for winning crew chief Alan Gustafson and the driver Jeff Gordon, providing us with our Goodyear winning moment, celebrating his 85th career NASCAR Sprint Cup Series win. Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of wins, and I know he had to work hard for some of those along the way, but I'm not sure he did any better driving job than what he did right there those last 10 laps.
While they make the front stretch victory lane celebration stage ready for Gordon to drive around, let's hear from some more of the top finishers today. Dave? Behind Jeff Gordon, who has rolled into the victory lane area set up on the front stretch where he could celebrate in front of all the fans, and what a win to celebrate. The guy who started his career at this racetrack back in 1992 November, his first ever event in this series. Now today celebrating being the third winningest driver of all time. In victory lane with Jeff Gordon.
That was his car owner, Rick Hendrick. He was on the phone with him a moment ago on the Sprint phone talking to Rick at home as Jeff climbs down. And Jeff, as good a race as I've seen in a long time, those final 10 laps. You're sideways, got a mirror full of Jimmy Johnson, your teammate. Take us through what you were doing inside the car.
Oh, my goodness. You know, our car was so strong at the beginning of a run, and we just, you know, we used it up there at the end, and I was slipping and sliding. The track really changed a lot after that rain delay. Our car was real tight, and we had to free it up. But nice job, man.
That's Jimmy Johnson, by the way, on the stage pointing at you and congratulating. That's what you're talking about.
I tell you what, that was a lot of fun racing with him. I mean, I was slipping, he was slipping. You know, the throttle control was very tough there at the end, and a couple moments where I really thought he got us. But what an incredible victory for this Drive to In Hunger Chevrolet. And I know we spoiled the Sprint Showdown. So I didn't mind sitting back there for a while waiting to get over here to Victor Lane because it was just an incredible day. And, man, this team is on a roll. And I don't care if it's Sunday or Monday or Tuesday, you know, the NASCAR fans coming out like this to support us and have a race like that, man, that's awesome. This feels awesome. And I got to thank, again, Drive to In Hunger, text Hunger to 50555, DuPont, Pepsi, all of our sponsors. We're just so thankful, and what an incredible day.
Jeff, I don't know if you could see it. I know you had your hands full, but on the final lap of the race, Jimmy was just as sideways as you were, trying to hang on and trying to be able to get a run at you.
Yeah, when I saw him get real loose off of 4, coming to take the white, I could breathe a little sigh of relief because, you know, I could kind of maintain down there in 3 and 4. I just got so loose. And he was rolling a little bit better than me through the middle down in 1 and 2. I could maintain the outside, but, you know, all he had to do was get to my inside off of 2, and we would have, it would have been hard to beat him back to the line because we just lost so much grip there. So gave me a little breathing room there, and I was able to just be real smooth and easy with it through 1 and 2, try to keep it driving as straight as I could, which wasn't easy, and then just baby it through 3 and 4. So, you know, he had 1 or 2 shots at me that I really thought we were done. I mean, I got so loose, but once he got to me and we were able to maintain and actually pull out a couple times, runs, I said, okay, we just got to fight them to the checkered flag.
There are those close to you who say they had not seen you this confident and this aggressive since 2001, your last championship year. Are you feeling it? This is the year for 5?
I think this has turned out to be a great year, Jerry. Alan Gustafson, Lee, Tom, all our engineers, all the guys that worked so hard, the awesome pit crew, man, those last 2 stops were just money. And we're having a lot of fun right now. And when you can drive a race car that drives like that one, it makes me look like a hero, but they're the hero in my mind.
And by the way, Richard Petty, David Pearson, and Jeff Gordon, 3rd all-time in wins in NASCAR history now.
Jerry, I had totally forgot about that. I got so excited with the whole win, and John Edwards didn't do his job back there telling me I won 85. I can't do anything without him. And I got to say hi to Ingrid, Leo, and Ella. Ella, I hope you had a good day at school today, baby. It's their first day, and I know how excited they are, and I can't wait to get home and see you guys. But yeah, 85. Wow, that is unbelievable. I mean, I'm just blown away. The kind of day we had, the kind of year that we're having. I mean, I just feel rejuvenated in such a big way just because of this race team and these race cars I get to drive. 85. Woo! I love it, man. I love it. I can't wait to get home. Can't wait to celebrate with these guys. And thanks again to the fans. Wow.
Oh, we'll let him get up there and celebrate with his crew. And what an incredible landmark victory for Jeff Gordon here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Alan?
From a young kid at this racetrack in November of 1992 with kind of a fuzzy little mustache to a 40-year-old, one of the most accomplished ever in the sport, a 4-time champion, now with the 3rd most wins ever behind 2 of the very best that he very much deserves to be in the company of. It's been quite a trip and quite a career to witness for that man, Jeff Gordon.
First time I saw Jeff was at an open test at Charlotte Motor Speedway. He hadn't driven in NASCAR yet. Some of the press buddies of mine and I were joking around, and we saw this kid looked like he was in junior high. He had a little hairline mustache.
He looked like he was about 15 years old, and he had a little mustache. Okay, trying to look older.
And I said, who in the world is that? And someone said, that's that hot shoe from Indianapolis. That's Jeff Gordon. I said, that's Jeff Gordon?
He was everything that Dale Earnhardt wasn't. The people that really loved Dale hated Jeff. And the people that really loved Jeff hated Dale. Because, honestly, from a personality standpoint, when you looked at them from the outside, they were completely different.
You're either a 3 fan or a 24 fan, but you couldn't be both.
In some parts of the country, Jeff Gordon is not a particularly liked driver.
Everybody was from North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. Here he comes from California, been running open-wheel cars, very, very well-spoken, very polished, just a different kind of attitude.
As a fan of his growing up, I was stoked to see him win all those races, and happy that he kind of blazed the trail for guys that didn't grow up in the South to get a shot in NASCAR.
The victory here to Jeff Gordon. And another mark is put in the record books.
Pop the champagne, Jeff Gordon.
What a win for Jeff Gordon.
You are the damn best.
There's a lot of people out there running today. They're satisfied just to be in the race, you know. And Jeff is one that likes to win, you know, and he does all he can to win.
If someone didn't wreck him, he didn't even have to have equal equipment to win because he had the driving talent. He was fun to watch. It got a little bit monotonous writing about him winning, though.
And here comes Jeff Gordon to take the checkered flag. We'll remember the name. Jeff Gordon, winner of the inaugural Brickyard 400. The championship goes to Jeff Gordon.
This will be the first modern-day guy to go against the previous generation. Every sport always says, could the older guys do it today? And could these guys do it then? Who knows? You know, who knows?
I think Jeff Gordon winning 85 is huge. You know, I think back then, they raced a lot more. If you race more, you're going to get more wins.
Jeff got his 85 in far fewer races than Richard and David ran.
I don't want to take away from anything that Richard's accomplished, but at the same time, I think what Jeff has done is very, very amazing.
You can't go to Jeff Gordon and compare him with the Richard Petty or David Pearson because they was at a different time. You compare people to to their time with the people that they run against.
At the end of the day, he's going to put himself in the same place as the big names of our sport, and that's always important.
So Jeff will be number 3, and that's a pretty good deal when you look at 63 years of race car drivers.
I don't think we're going to see anyone 185 moving forward. I think he's fighting for sole possession of third forever.
It was number 85 and third on the all-time win list today at Atlanta for Jeff Gordon. And perspective on what Gordon's accomplished from DJ and Andy. You heard what some other folks, including the King, had to say about it. Your thoughts on 85?
Well, it's just incredible, and having the opportunity and the good fortune to race against a champion like Jeff Gordon, it's just amazing. I think a champion can be defined in a lot of different ways. Obviously, trying to look at different eras, that is difficult, but he's won on every type of racetrack, from road courses to short tracks to the super speedways. Everywhere that he goes, he's been a winner. He's raced against more competition than anyone else has ever had, and gone to 85 wins. Just incredible, and today was another remarkable win in his great career.
Yeah, and I was lucky enough to actually, I knew Jeff before he even came and started running stock cars, and then we were in that rivalry with Jeff Gordon when he was just coming into his own and starting to win races. And the last year I was with Dale, we lost a championship to them, and I knew then that he was great and had a lot of greatness left in him. And what he's done lately, I mean, he's as fast as I've ever seen him. I think he's going to have a good shot to win the championship this year.
What an accomplishment for Jeff Gordon. Presentation there from NASCAR President Mike Helton, commemorating a huge accomplishment, and boy, he had to work hard for it.
Yeah, he sure has. And I think another thing that we have to look at is Jeff Gordon outside the race car. Yeah, 85 wins is fantastic, but how much he's done for this sport and getting it known in other areas.
So Gordon with a win after a terrific fight with Jimmy Johnson in the final laps, his third win of the season and his 85th career victory, taking over third on the all-time NASCAR Sprint Cup Series win list. Sports Center is coming up next, including more post-race coverage from here in Atlanta. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Delayed a day and a half by rain. They went racing for 500 miles on a Tuesday in Atlanta, a racetrack where Jeff Gordon has enjoyed so much success and locked up some championships over the years. And on this afternoon, he had to fight hard with a man he brought to the sport's top level, who's earned one more championship than he, Jimmy Johnson. And in the final laps, two of the sport's best put on quite a show. Jeff Gordon came home with the trophy and his 85th career victory.